Hey, it's Joy. I've got big feelings about little things, and I want to talk about it. Oh yeah, I'm mad about it. And the fact that everyone else is not up in arms about it is a big part of the problem. Oh, I bawled my eyes out, like I always do. It was the sweetest thing. Oh, it was the cutest thing. It was the funniest thing. Thanks for being here. Let's go. Hey, I am so glad you're here. Want to say a huge thank you to my friend Craig for being here the last couple of weeks. He popped by and we just chit-chatted. As a matter of fact, the one thing I wanted to talk to him about was our high school reunion, and we did not get to it, so I'm going to have him back and do that. I hope it was enjoyable for y'all. It is so fun for me to see somebody that I've known for such a long time and have so much history with, yet there's so much that I learn that I don't know about a person. You know, I think my dream would be that that's what this entire podcast is I would just hold office hours. I've heard of this new thing. It's like you hold office hours at a coffee shop or at a bar or something, either you and a friend, and you go like set up at a table at a coffee shop and you have your whatever, your laptop, your book, you have your stuff that you need to do. But if everybody knows, oh, Joy's going to be at that one La La Land at, from 4 to 6 every Tuesday afternoon. And so if I need to see her, we can pop by, or if we need to sit by each other and work on our laptops, we can do that. And I just think that's adorable, especially like on a Sunday at a bar, your friends want to pop by, no pressure on like, we're going to start at this time, end at this time. You just pop by if you want to say hi, want to have a quick drink, want to head out, or if you want to stay the whole time. I love that. I would just have an open office hours, and I would just start with like my entire friends and family list, everyone I've ever worked with, and I would just ask all the questions I've always wanted to ask. What did you think of this when this was going on back then? What about that? Hey, I made coffee plans with an old coworker, and I was just like, oh gosh, I need to make out a list of like 10 questions that I desperately wanted to ask you. Except you were kind of my boss, so I couldn't. But now now that we're all out from under that umbrella of a company, can I ask you all this? Can I ask you all this stuff? Like, that's what I really like super want the tea now. And I don't know, I used to worry asking certain questions or opening up certain conversations. And I think it was more about what I kind of assumed would be awkward. God, I wish I had a great example for you right now, but there's not one coming to my mind. But I just know that I was so worried about things being awkward, and I always wanted everything to be like so lighthearted and, everybody's having a great time. Not that I don't want that anymore. I love to have better conversations, and I love to ask better questions. And I don't know if I did that with Craig or not, because I can't step away and look at that in an objective way. You know what I should do? Because I would love to gain the skill of interviewing. I should have someone that I don't know come be on the show and me interview them like if I were getting to know someone I didn't know. And that way, if I'm not good at that, then we know this isn't for you. But I don't even care really if it's for me. If it's what I want to do, this is what I want to do. So if you know me or get an invitation to this chair right here, please come. We'll have a good time. We will have a grand old time. And I'll give you something to drink too. Although Craig was early, so he did not get a drink. He had to bring his own. If I have the choice of putting my eyelashes on or going to CVS to get your Diet Dr. Pepper, I'm going with eyelashes. You can pick it up on your own. But sometimes we just need that. We need that, see that person we haven't seen in such a long time and goof off and talk about the stupid things that we haven't talked about in so long. So huge thank you to him. It was a real boost, not just podcast wise, like human wise. It was so good to see him, see his husband. We had dinner the night before and all that. This is part of the podcasting world. You have to wine and dine. I mean, did I make him pay for the dinner even though he was doing me a favor? Yes, but that's beside the point. Long beside the point. I have a little more social coming up. I'm actually headed out in an hour to go watch the Oscars. And typically when there's like a big event, you really want to make your content after it, not before. For my timing of this week, recording right now is way better than waiting till tomorrow. And so I'm just kind of crossing my fingers, hoping nothing crazy happens. I despite it not being a good time, if something insane happens, like Conan gets punched in the face or whatever, if we're at the Chris Rock getting slapped level of something goofy happening, I'll come back, or I'll at least add, you will have already heard something in my intro saying, hey, for my schedule this week, I recorded this before, before. I can't even imagine what Conan would do. He's my favorite, but someone else something. So the things that I'm assuming are going to happen are a lot of jokes about Timothée Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet is an actor who is up for Best Actor tonight for playing a ping pong player. I only know that from TikTok telling me and from the world telling me. He dates one of the Kardashians, the richest, probably prettiest one, Kylie. And they've been together for a long time. He, despite being an actor who is in the world of art, and despite his mom and sister being associated with other arts like ballet and what was the other one? Ballet and not symphony. I already can't remember. They'll tell you tonight. He said like ballet is dying. Despite his family being involved in that, he was talking, or as my mom would say, talking ugly about ballet and other art forms. And so the art community has been none too pleased with that. Of course. Why would they be? And so I'm assuming we're going to make a lot of fun of that tonight. I'm assuming Michael B. Jordan will be there looking fine. I hope he brings his mom. I just love that when people bring their mom. And I think Conan will be very entertaining, but also not really at risk for doing anything off color or anything like that. He's the best about that. And if you don't know much about him, he was like a young guy from a big Irish family that got an opportunity like super early in his not just career, his lifetime. He was a young guy that got a writing job on like The Simpsons, and he was a writer on Saturday Night Live. He got plucked from that to be a late night host. So he was doing like the old David Letterman show. So in the 1900s, you would watch TV, it would all be streaming live. Everything was streaming live. And you would watch it at the time it was on. And then you could, let's say you could save it somewhere if you wanted to watch it later. But you had to watch it live, or it would come back on during the live stream as a rerun, like something that's already been seen, but we're just putting it back in this slot. Did I do a good job of explaining how television used to work in the 1900s? So he had a late show. It was like you would watch like the nightly news at 10:30 would be the Tonight Show. And then after that was the late show, the late night show. And he did that very early on. It was great. Had a very kind of unique, goofy sense of humor, but he really, a lot of the younger people loved him, and he was kind of weird, but in a genius type of way. And then they being the execs at NBC, like made a plan for him to take over the Tonight Show later on once the older guy would retire. Well, it was all kind of a big mess, and he didn't end up getting to stay with the Tonight Show more than, gosh, I really should look this up. It didn't feel like it was more than a few weeks. I'm sure it was probably a couple of months, but he just got treated very poorly in that, on the business side and on the content side, I think, but ended up like kind of stepping away for a little bit, and from at least the big limelight, and redoing his career. And now, like in his 60s, is hosting the Academy Awards for the second time and just absolutely like killed it last time. I'm sure he killed it this week as well. I'm so excited to hear what he has to say. I'm excited to see the bits that he does. I think he's really funny, but I also think now with some of that stuff in his rearview mirror, he can say, you know, even if this doesn't work out, it's not this huge deal, which I think makes it way more likely that he's going to do well. So anyway, I think that is a really tough gig. When I was growing up, Billy Crystal did it, and he would like sing and dance and tap and do, that was a whole thing. But it's a very difficult gig. I mean, you're who you're speaking to is such a wide range of people. It's tons of people at home, then these people in the room that do not have a good sense of humor that night because they are in too tight of Spanx, have had too much Botox, have not eaten anything with salt in it in like 3 days. They are starving. They're grumpy. And they're nervous because they're either about to have to walk up on stage and do a speech in front of everybody in the world, or they're going to have a camera on them when they find out they lost the one award that they wanted. So all people in there are stressed. I mean, even if you're a seat filler, you got to know what's happening. You got to be careful you're not stepping on Meryl Streep's toe or like getting distracted because Hudson Williams is sitting in front of you and you're supposed to be paying attention to what's going on in the world, but you can't. So it's just a lot of stress. So all this to say, I'm on my way to watch the Oscars tonight. My hope is that I would recognize about half the people that I should. I mean, not I should, but I don't think anybody's thinking I'm not connected because I don't know who the costumers are. I mean, like actors, directors, girlfriends, people like that. People walking the red carpet. I'm hoping I know about half of them. Truth be told, it'll probably be closer to like 30%. But as I get older, I get further and further away. And there will be people that I'm just like, not only do I not know that person or what that person's done, it's not even like their name is ringing a bell. I'm like, I don't know. Because number one, I only know people from my own algorithm. But number two, I am the world's worst about like shopping but never buying. Meaning I will window shop the like Netflix now playing. I will add so many things to my list. So many things. Probably, I don't know, there's probably at least 5 movies that are up tonight that are on my watch list that I've never even considered actually watching. I went to the movies in person for the first time in a really long time a couple weeks back, and every single preview, I was like, that looks great. I'm going to watch that. No, I'm not. It'll come to streaming. I'll put it on my list. I'll never watch it. And that'll be that. So, I mean, it's not like I had this friend that used to throw this big Oscars party, and it was a grand old time. We would dress up. One year he had a big red carpet. I got to find that picture. That's really one of my favorite pictures of all time is where he's escorting me down the red carpet in a tux, and I'm, acting like I really am going to an event, although it was a great event. And we ate, we drank, we laughed. We all did a poll, not a poll. What do you call it when you enter a contest? We we did our Oscar picks. Okay. And I was legit. I was researching. I was trying to win. I was doing my best, and I'd watched so much stuff. I forgot about that this year. This is actually my favorite thing. I don't know if you know they do this. There's a theater by my house that in Dallas. It's called the Angelica. It's like it plays movies, but it also plays like more independent stuff, more documentaries, more stuff that you're not going to see everywhere. You're not going to see it at a big AMC or something. They usually play all the movies that are up for short, like documentary short or live shorts and animated shorts. So they'll do the short movies. There will be one showing of like the live ones, and they're usually about, let's say 20 minutes or less. So you're there for about 2 hours, and you see 5 short movies, And the ones that I liked best would never win. And all the ones that I was like, okay, that's fine, would always win. But that I think is the coolest thing because I always have wanted to be in the know. I'm like, what are y'all watching? Are y'all, what are these movies? And some of them are great. Some of them stick with me today. I don't usually watch the animated ones, I'll be honest, but I even forgot to do that this year. So I would go to that. I would like research everything and I would really try to win. I would get close. But then after a while, especially, if the wine's flowing, after you start to realize, oh, I'm not going to win. I'm not going to have to make a speech tonight to get my free movie tickets because I won. So no big deal, but it was fun, So it's not like that anymore. It's mostly just like me in PJs with my red mask on, my red light mask on, just trying to get ready to go to bed. But I still kind of want to be in the know on what's going on. So wish me luck. Hope I recognize some people. I mean, at the very least, I'm going to see Michael B. Jordan in a tux. So I think it's a win. Have a good week.
Thanks for listening to Little Things, Big Feelings with Joy Delaney. I'm James, the producer, editor, director, and executive producer. Follow Joy on socials at Joy Delaney Cox on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Honestly, forget TikTok. I don't even know how to use it
anyway. You
anyway.
Know how to use it anyway.
James.
Follow Joy on socials at Joy Delaney Cox on Instagram and Facebook. See you next week.